Agus go raibh agat do Thomas Pringle a thug an deisdom chun Loirt an seo an ucht. Over the past few months, I have consistently spoken to farmers across Laois and Offaly, and indeed I have raised the issues concerning the beef and suckler farmers a number of times before this crisis kicked off. But I can genuinely say from speaking to them, some of them have never ever been on a protest in their life, and it was a case of necessity. They were forced onto the picket lines in order to hopefully salvage their livelihoods, and indeed that of the sons and daughters who hope to succeed them in farming. And I do feel that it's a disgrace that this has got to this point, that this crisis is escalating instead of being resolved. I know, Minister, you did, in fairness, bring the stakeholders to the table, and I do commend you on including the representatives from the Independent Farmers Organisation, because I feel the more stakeholders that are there now, the better. And I genuinely feel that we need to go back again, because farming families have been put in a desperate and distressing state. And as we know, they have not been rewarded for their produce or for their hard work over many years. And this really has to change if we are to make progress and move forward. Agreement on the base price and total transparency is absolutely crucial in terms of the survival of the sector and to protect the sector. If we are to build better relations and on trust, even with the different stakeholders, including the meat industry and Board BIA, both whom have questions and serious questions to answer, we must start at that point. Farmers forced onto the picket lines have already stated that they will immediately withdraw from the pickets if a fair base price is agreed. And a fair base price or contracts must be urgently agreed in order to allow farmers who want to return to their work to do so, and to allow the factory employees to return to their jobs, and indeed the sheep farmers to access the factories. The fact of the matter is that the factories and beef barons have made significant profits, while our farmers have made serious losses and have lost all confidence in the meat industry and in Board BIA. This cannot continue. A fair price and respect must be given to our beef and suckler farmers. There must be a fair base price agreed. And in addition, Minister, I just point out to you, because it came to my attention during the summer, that supports for beef and suckler farmers, such as the beef exceptional aid measures, they must be looked at, because the conditions are extremely unfair. It talks about reduction in herd size, and I know that a lot of farmers who hope to enter the scheme could not do so because they stand to lose more. And I think we need to address this. The EU Commissioner came out and said during the week or last week that it would be an embarrassment if the majority of our beef farmers didn't accept the scheme. But the real embarrassment is the fact that the EU Commissioner hasn't fought hard enough for Irish farmers in terms of these conditions, in terms of getting rid of the restrictions and allowing our farmers to enter the scheme. I feel that that's also an important issue, and that's why I'm mentioning it here tonight. Farmers on the picket lines have said that they will immediately withdraw, and I would hope that this will be done. But it must urgently, Minister, the whole issue of base price has to be addressed, and it must be done quickly. It is shameful that all along, we've seen our farmers suffer. It can't continue, and I'm calling on the processors, who are no doubt watching here tonight on proceedings, to offer a fair price to farmers and to give them the long overdue respect in order to save the sector. We must recognise the fact that agriculture has been the backbone of our economy through the bleakest times, and I know that I live in a rural area surrounded by beef and suckler farmers, and I have the utmost respect for the hard work that they do, and they deserve this. Going forward in the future, farmers are saying that there is no way that they will not agree to anything less. They've drawn a line in the sand. We need the fair base price, Minister, and we need it fast. In addition to that, Minister, I would call on you to ensure that in Budget 2040 going forward, that you would ensure that there are more supports to farmers, such as the direct payment for suckler farmers. Please increase that to 200. It was disappointing to see that it was only €40 per cow last year. And also the €1 billion Brexit fund for market supports and direct aid. I think that needs to be implemented, in addition to a compensation fund for farmers who supplied cattle post-May the 12th, who are losing €4 million per week on beef prices. I think all of these things, Minister, will collectively help the farmers. Gur magat.